Welcome in, everyone. Power Hour Flow and Charts. If you have any flow requests you want me to take a peek at, feel free to drop them in the chat. Any overall questions about the market, so on. It's been kind of slow this afternoon, so please drop some tickers in the chat and we'll try to make it the full hour. But we'll start off kind of looking at the market tide right now. Sitting at all of our premiums are bid side right now. We are seeing a little more negative volume, so we are technically seeing a bearish market tide right now. Your major contributors to the market tide right now: Nvidia, SPY, QQQ, IWM, and MU, SNDK, Meta, Boeing here. Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty. Oop, can you not hear me? How's the sound for you? Oh, 1 second. Alright, I might have to flip something here. Give me 1 second. Okay, how's the sound now? Should be good now. Maybe. Hopefully. Does the sound good for everybody else? Should be working. Everything looks to be good on my end. Okay. Okay, yeah, Lilu, try to hop out and hop back in. Thanks, Boomer. So yeah, back to the market tide right now. We are seeing a lot of bid side action here. It's technically a defensive market tide here. A lot of money puts are kind of trying to curl up to that ask side, but just kind of outflow on both for the most part. A lot of negative volume. I don't think there's much on Periscope. It's been pretty quiet here. I mean, we're at the long puts here pretty much right now. That 66.70, this was a spread earlier in the day, and I will go back to the beginning here and kind of show everybody how that looked. So first, oops, maybe if I could click properly, that would help. You could see that big spread opening here earlier in the day. Okay, 1 second here. Boomer, it's still good for you, the sound? I'm gonna try one more thing here. Okay, is it a little better now, West? Bean, everybody else, does it sound good? Let's see. Should be, it's showing good on my end. Alright, 1 second here. I am going to restart it here. Alright, let's see. Alright, let's see. Okay, a little better now, please. Okay, that's so strange. And it's weird because it was good for you, Boomer. So I don't get that. That's really odd. But yeah, okay. So hopefully the sound's better now. So yeah, back to Periscope here. You could see that big spread opening this morning, and price just pretty much gravitating towards that most of the day here, and you just see that spread kind of sitting there, getting a little volume up here, and obviously we kind of got a small little pop back up, but that big spread there was your big position there, and you can just see long puts, still some more longs down there at 66.50. Yeah, otherwise Right now we're just kind of sitting right on top of that spread. So I would almost like to say, because we're not really seeing any ask side call premium coming in here on SPY, and we are seeing a lot of negative volume. If that negative volume does decrease a bit, we could see this be that possible bottom here and maybe get a little bounce into close here, but not really seeing it on the premiums yet. Holdings, yeah, everything is just bid side here, and we do have a lot of data tomorrow, so I wouldn't expect a massive move into close, but yeah, I would be looking for maybe a possible bounce at that 66, 65, 70 there. Let's go back here and see what we got for flow coming. Actually, I found this good example right before the stream started here. So you guys hear me talk a lot about flow that can be related to other flow, and it doesn't show that it's related to other flow. Perfect example here. So we have two GM pieces of flow that came in. Same exact timing here, same exact second, same exact days to expiration. Very similar sizing there. Now, when we look at them here, again, it's not showing its multi-leg. And when we look at this other, the GM put too, again, it's not showing its multi-leg. The one cool thing though that we do see here, you see that spike in net call and net put premium here. So again, we don't 100% know they're related just because it's not marked multi-leg, but again, just kind of using our basic context clues and everything we have, what are the odds that somebody is coming in, two different people, same exact second, same exact days to expiration, roughly the same size. This is one of those trades that, like, I mean, if you see this in real time now, there's people that will just trade, like if you only have calls on, you might see that GM and you're like, oh man, there's a GM call that came in, and you see that, you don't see its multi-leg or anything, and you are like, okay, well, maybe it's a single leg trade. So that's kind of why, another good example, why I like to keep that call and put on that same uh, filter there. But yeah, I mean, like, these, I would say 99% sure these are related to each other. I mean, I would bet you whatever you want. Let's see, can you look at the AMCR, APR? Yeah, we can take a take a little looky poo at that. So let's see, we've got the, yeah, Leela, it's probably a spread more so. They're, and I'm not the spread person to ask, but I mean, like, here, they might just be single legging it. It's odd to me. I mean, usually when you run a spread, it's going to be a multi-leg, but this is definitely something interesting, though. I mean, again, one of those names that you can't 100% confirm that it's related to each other, but it it's related to each other. I'll bet you on that one. So I mean, whatever your typical spread would be for that same expiration, different strikes there. Again, I am not your spread king there to ask. But yeah, no, it's typically if you're doing a multi-leg trade, they would be related to each other. But maybe that whale. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to it one more time here. One more time here. So like maybe this whale is bullish on these, and this is just a hedge. I mean, you just never know. That's a thing. It's already hard to kind of diagnose flow, but then when you get something odd like this, and I don't see this very often where it's that same second and it's not related. There's I just got to go back here one second. I'll pull it up here. I talk about it frequently. Let's go find, like, here back in November. Like, this is the only other time I've kind of really seen it. I mean, 2, 3 times maybe, but same, very, very similar timing here. Again, same expiration, call put, I mean that's the same size in there, and like that. I mean, again, just using context clues and kind of looking like this. Again, I would say 99.9% sure it's related. And you look at that flow here again, doesn't show it's multi-leg, does it? 1% multi-leg. So I mean, if they were related, say 100%. But I mean, you see a lot of that type of flow where it's kind of, it can be goofy like that. So that's kind of why I always like hit hard on that risk management. Like it might not say it's multi-leg, but you just never know. Like this was just a perfect example today on something like that. Let me do Matt's request here, and then I will hit on your multi-leg there, Boomer. Let's see. So the AMCR, and it is the 38 put for April 17th. Is that the correct one there? I've got a 1016 AMCR. Let's see, April 17th, 38 put. I don't see a 38 put unless you're thinking of 1016 there, Matt. If you check that strike, just double check that there for me and I'll come back to it. I'm gonna do one more check up here, 38. Yeah, I'm only getting that one there, so maybe 417. Let's do it this way. Let me go in here. So we got the 417, 38. Oh, we do have some on here. It said 38 put. Maybe if I can click on it, that would help. Okay, so for some reason that wasn't showing up to me. Odd. Yeah, say so 6% out of the money. Definitely opening volume here. You have 500 contracts against 27 open contracts at the time. Let's see. So premium, we are kind of down a little bit today, obviously. So kind of seeing a spike here in call premium too. A lot of negative volume here. How big is this trade though? Let's just take a double check. So this is 24% of that total premium on this name. So this one with my, so this is one of those that I kind of call a block trade here where a lot of that comes in at once. So we do have some flow before it though. I typically like to see that flow before it on these. Usually you don't get that luxury where that flows before it and it's usually after, and that block is the first one that comes in. This one I'm a little iffy on this one. I would probably lean buy to open on these. It's a wider bid-ask spread here, and with us being down 5% on the day, obviously your IV's elevated a bit on that, and people want puts. So this isn't filling right at the ask there, obviously a lot closer to the ask. You do have your ascending fill here, which is good, and your IV increases here on that large size and premium. So, I mean, it's, to me, it's one of those kind of coin flip ones where you're down so much on the day already. They're not too far out of the money, which is nice that you have time on those. I want to see what else is coming in on this name as well. See if we can get any other clues in here for you. So 14 days out. Yeah, that spike, excuse me. Oh, I gotta get a drink here, 1 second. Yeah, you get that spike in put and call premium here. So it looks like that 417.26 is what's causing that call premium spike, I would assume here. I just want to double check. No. Yeah, no, this one's not doing that. What is causing our call spike here? So that 98-day call. So this looks like this is the one that's causing our spike in here. So 16% of that total premium. Let's see how this one looks. So this one, so this is our first trade on the tape here. So that's size 1, obviously volume 1. That's going to be your first trade there. Not really getting any hints from this tape there. I mean, Ivy's at that 32, 34 that entire time. Spot fills at the ask. I mean, again, I wish I like having flow before it just to kind of see how that full trade that comes in impacts that IV where it's filling at the spot. I mean, what the price was before and all that. I would probably lean these or buy to open here. And I mean, it's kind of conflicting here because you have that put as well too. That you do have some shorter term puts coming in here too. Let's take a peek at these. Maybe if I can learn to click properly. So these. So is that? Oh yes, that is our first trade of the day. So 35.81. So this is a good example here. So these I would probably say are buy to open, and why do I think that? So look at our spot price when this comes in. Again, it's a wider bid ask spread. These are coming in just recently. So this is our first trade on the day there. 12 size, 12 volume. So repeated hits ascending fill. And you're keeping an eye on that IV when it's coming up here. So you're at 35.81. You just see how that IV is increasing as we come up here. Your spot price is increasing here. So we're not filling right at the ask here, but then we eventually fill at the ask here. Small little drop there, but only 8 contracts. So it's not a significant chunk of that trade here. And I like having this fill versus spread on now too. So if you kind of have a wider bid-ask spread, this one's a little easier to kind of look at. You can kind of just get that visual and see that it's filling right at the ask there. Like here, the one that's not, it's a penny below, you just see how it's kind of a tick below. So, I mean, you get that nice visual there. Let's just keep following this up and see. So 37.74, we are filling at the ask still. Now, again, this is why I like looking at that flow that's around that flow too. We have a trade about 10 seconds or so later. Again, all the same timing here. I mean, similar sizing here and then a bigger size there. Now, again, your IV is increasing there and then it increases again at the end. I would say these are buy to open here. And that bid ask gets very, very funky on this here. I would kind of discount that bid ask change there a bit there and go with what we had here. Pretty much you're seeing they wanted to stop selling those at that 35 there, and new order book or however the internals of the market work with the bid ask changes like that. Yeah, so I wouldn't consider these really at the bid there. It's just a really goofy bid ask spread here. They probably sold. They didn't want to keep selling them at that 35. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, this tape looks pretty good there on the 320 39 puts. And then we also have the 320 40 puts here, which obviously already look like they're kind of making a move. Oh, they were only 12 trades on that one, so not really much on there. So kind of coming to the conclusion on that one, I like those 8-day out ones, so that would mean I would almost like those 417s even better because you have a lot more time on those too. So I would just kind of looking at that other flow related to it, I would lean these are buy to open again. I mean, you have your spot price increasing here, IV increases. I would lean there buy to open there. I'm not big on chasing stuff that's down already. Like something like this. Let me go back here. Like when I see kind of flow that's longer dated like that, maybe a month out or so. What was that? Yeah, a little more than a month. I try to fish for a better entry here. So this, like if I'm still short on that, like okay, well maybe I know that whale's still in. We are absolutely getting crushed here. Let's go back here. So I like finding discounted entries. I try to secure as much profit as I can. I don't always necessarily get that same entry that whale does now, just based off of when I do kind of chase the whale. I'd say I I kind of base it on days to expiration. So if something is like 5 days to expiration, 10 days to expiration, I try to think in my head, okay, well, that whale's looking for a quicker move there. Versus now, again, these are what, 36 days out. They're probably more on a mid to slightly longer time frame there. They're probably not looking for a intraday move there. I mean, if you're looking for an intraday move there, you're probably getting shorter dated contracts. Now, you had those 8 day out contracts, so kind of combining that, and that's why I like to look at the other flow around the names as well too. You have this kind of mid longer term piece of flow here, and then you have that shorter dated flow there, and that 8 days is short dated. Maybe you wanted to see if we can get a possible bounce here. So like, I'm just kind of looking at the chart here. So let's come down here. Let's draw a nice, I'll adjust it a little bit here. It's an ugly little trend line there. Maybe you want to kind of draw a little trend line. You know they're shorter dated. Maybe you can see us, and I mean that would be a very big pop to kind of get back up to that trend. So let's do this on the 4 hour and see what we can find. So you're looking for maybe a discounted entry here. I'm a big user of supply and demand, support resistance zones. So what I'm looking for here is I want to come back up into possibly, that's too much down. Let's go right here and we'll adjust from there. So I mean, maybe if you could get a small pop, and I will make this look a little prettier in here. Let's see, we don't have anything. Okay, yeah, we're pretty much at the lows then. So if you're looking for like a entry on the 4 hour, you know that whale is shorter term here. Maybe tomorrow we get a little pop back up in here, get back into that 40.95-ish area. Then I'm looking for maybe to start a position there, just kind of depending on what's going on. Because you're chasing down here too far, and I mean it's already down again a significant amount on the day. And if you're patient and you get those good entries here, like I mean you get back up here into that zone, that's almost a 2% pop there. So I mean you're gonna get another 2% move on that name if it does drop again, obviously. Yeah, I mean that's something I like to do on kind of that longer term stuff. This one, again, you could be maybe a little more aggressive on it because you know you have those 8 day out expirations. I I'm not super aggressive. You can probably tell how I'm always talking about it. I'm not super aggressive with chasing and all that. I mean, you know they're 8 days out. Hey, maybe you want to take a stab at the long dated calls and just think we're gonna keep going down. Now, if you were gonna do that, I would have a little kind of plant a stop out, and I'd probably do that around. Let's just come in here. Yeah, I mean it's got some decent little zones in here where I would be different little levels in here. I mean, you can see, I mean, just kind of how the zones are marked out here. So this was little support, demand, whatever you want to call it. You got a little pop there, fail, and then you can just kind of easily see how it's just trailing in there. And I mean, it's had a hard time getting out of this zone. Obviously, the last 1, 2, 3 times it's made a move out of that zone, but this time it's failed. So I mean, I like now if I was in this trade right now at this position, I would have a possible target here, that 39.72, so I can get down to that next potential bounce spot there. It's probably not a good spot to open this. I mean, unless you can unless you're really confident and you really like that flow and you think we're gonna kind of maybe test that zone there. Yeah, so that's the AMCRs. Sorry, I don't want to spend 1,000 hours on one. I wish I could. Let's keep kind of going down there. Let's see. So what's the permanent plan? Okay. Oh, sorry. I already answered that for you, Lilu. So Boomer, how does unusual oils pick up multi-legs and how do examples like that go? So when they're multi-leg, like it will tell you it's multi-leg. So like I that's kind of like an internal question of like how they pull that data. If you wanted like more information, I wonder if there is a article on here for that. Let me how are oh god I can't type multi-leg trades leg trades found. Let's see. Um, if you had a question on, let's see, multi-leg trades, so maybe in here. So okay, well this is just gonna kind of tell you what I was gonna tell you here when you see that. I wonder if so possibly related. I'll drop this article in here too, just in case you want to kind of look at it later too. But I don't possibly relate. Yeah, I don't think multi-leg. Yeah. Well, so essentially, like they're pulling the same time, and they can. There's some sort of code or something I'm sure that they have that will flag that code and that size and the same timing, and if it's so like if you're rolling like so like this whale is rolling these out because they're geez man um switch it. Actually, maybe they're not called debit spread. Um, so like the multi-leg here, okay. Yeah, not the best example. Yeah, I'm not a spread trader, as you can tell. But like here, so you will get the order that comes in. So it's all connected here. So like if I go in my broker and like I'm gonna do like let's say I'm in SPY 686 calls. Like if I come over in here, I can I would be able to roll them here. I might not be able to do it without the thing unlocked, but um, yeah, I don't think it's gonna let me do it with it locked here. So you can roll them in here. So like if I went in here, like there's a closed position down here, and you can like roll the position out. So that's how it would pull that data there. A good person to really ask how like it's if you want like the actual like details on that would be Dan here. Hey, where did his go? He didn't delete his Twitter, did he? I'll have to find his Twitter. Where the fuck is he? Okay. I don't know where he went. I don't want to scroll through all my people here. I'll do it quick here. Let's see. Dan. Oh yeah, it's right here. So he's on the developer team for Unusual Whales, so he can kind of give you that more like context if you're looking on how they actually like pull the multi-leg trades and all that. That one is kind of above my head there. Sorry, but I mean like because when you go in the broker and you do a transaction, like they can see obviously if it's connected to something else and all that. So it's all that stuff that comes into Unusual Whales is pulled from brokers. So like that's kind of how they figure it out there. Sorry for the kind of crappy breakdown on that one. Um, yeah, let's see what we got for flow coming in there. Yeah, good questions though. Very good questions. I'm gonna close some of these here too. We'll leave that up in case we gotta chart something. Let's see. So how about these? Oh, we got some GM puts coming in. Very long dated. So we're seeing some GM and Ford stuff coming in here. Let's see what we got. So GM, maybe this is downside and this could be a possible upside hedge. Again, we don't know. I mean, you're seeing overwhelming puts here. So the 115, 20, 27, 67, 5 puts. Pretty long dated, probably something I wouldn't personally like. 8% out of the money, not too far with 309 days to go. These look pretty good here. Again, you just kind of see. So it looks like we start coming in at that 14, 29, 45. 2 seconds later, again, very educated guess that this bid side stuff before is probably related to this. And we just see our IV increase here. Spot is filling at the ask there, and it would be an ascending fill technically. Come up here, finish. Don't really see anything else out of the ordinary. Ooh, maybe spoke a little too soon. So this is where it gets a little muddy in that tape. That timing is very similar, but it's not exactly the same. And I mean, you are seeing big size and big premium here. Probably related, but I mean, it's too hard to kind of identify something like that. Now, this here, I mean, if it stopped here and you didn't really have anything else big after that, I would definitely say these are for sure buy to open here. And there's your bid side chunk that we just saw at the end. Then we have these forward puts also coming in here. Let's see if the forward ones give us a little better. So we do have some previous open interest on this one. So let's just kind of take a peek and see how that looks. So this is 7,000 contracts all coming in here. So with that prior open interest here, this flow that's coming in, and I just want to double check the timing on it. Yeah, so I mean, your timing is all 100% the same here. This is an opening trade here, and again, when you have that flow before it, you can see how that IV reacts, and that spot is filling here. Your IV spikes when it comes in. Spot is filling at the ask. One little contract here, not a big deal here. Mostly at the ask here. These look like long-term puts here. I'm going to actually throw these into the long-term channel here. Good little example there. So now kind of basing off that, like, there's other, you have the GM puts also in there. So, I mean, you're seeing hits on that auto industry sector there. So I would just kind of combining that data on what I have, I would probably assume those GM puts are buy to open. I mean, and you have these are that goofy multi-legged ones. Then you have more forward puts that are shorter dated here. 9% out of the money, 29 days, not unreasonable. Let's see how we look here. Again, another good example. We're filling at the ask. Our IV pops when it comes in. IV stays up. Spot is filling at the ask, and you can get that visual with it here. Again, these look buy to open here too. And the nice thing about this is Ford isn't down massively on the day, so it's not like you're chasing a big down move. So let's just look 14 days. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. You're seeing a lot of kind of put action here, and this is your biggest day, at least out of the last 14. Yeah, this is your biggest day of put premium out of the last 30 sessions. That's something that should stick out to me or anybody. And if you like those, I mean, hey, let's go look at the chart while we're at it. Let's pop this back to the daily. Now, where are we on the chart here? I've not charted Ford for a while because this thing is pretty ugly for the most part. Let's start weekly and work our way in. So I see we are at kind of a, and you guys will just see how I kind of do my charting here. I usually just kind of start like with bigger zones and kind of surgically move in there, adjust as I go. I am seeing. So we are kind of testing that there. We'll adjust that up a little bit. So let's go daily and see what we can do here. So I'm in this nice little bouncy area here, at least recently down. Yeah, and that's another thing that can obviously impact everything too is the Iran war and everything going on with that too. This is interesting to me now where we are on the chart, and I'm just going to kind of tune up that trend line just a teeny bit. So the way I'm seeing this one here, and you can see I like to start on that longer time frame and kind of work my way down. I think of it like surgery. Like if I'm doing heart surgery, I'm gonna cut the chest open first, and then we're gonna go in, get closer to the arteries, stuff like that. I am not a doctor, so just FYI. um, so just kind of what I have here. Obviously, you can see it's been a solid support zone for the most part here. So we've had some issues. I mean, it's been choppy in this area, and then you had your big pop up here. West. Maybe. We rejected here. Again, rejection there. Kind of pop there. Then we reject there. I mean, you can just see you're not getting the best kind of charting view on something like this. I mean, you're popping out of the zone more than anything, and we're coming. I mean, you just see how we slowly come down, and then we end up popping. Now, more recently here, I mean, you just see we're kind of grinding now. We failed that last time, and it looks like we're starting a new trend here from March of 2020. Again, COVID, the whole different story on everything. Now, just kind of drawing that trend line up. So when you're drawing your trend lines, goal is to get as much of the bottom of the candles without going too deep in. I can probably go out just a teeny bit on these here without you want to hit as many of the candles as possible without going too deep, because I mean you draw a trend line like this, that's not good, and you go something too far out like this, you're not hitting all of them. Again, it's just kind of your eye there on these, so I'm just kind of trying to zoom, get this as good as possible. So like this is possibly where I'd draw that trend line here. So the way I'm looking at this right now, maybe we'll see a little more downside continuation. I would be definitely looking at that 1123 spot though, maybe for a possible bounce actually. Just historically, I mean, we have not really fallen below that for a long time, and this also looks like a pretty strong uptrend area, and even just kind of if I go really in on that trend line there too, I mean, you're looking at a bounce about that 1140-ish area. Oops, 1140-ish area in there. So I mean, I almost would like to not say those are hedges that are coming in, but this that chart's telling me, I mean, you're gonna probably see a little resistance at that 1138. Now again, another way you could take that trade is that whale was 29 days out. We had that longer term one, the 190 days. Like if you really like that, I mean, wait till you get to that trend line. See what we do when we're at that uptrend there. If we break below that, I mean, you're looking for a drop to about, and this is just based off the charting. A line on a chart doesn't control the price. You're just kind of trying to see where we could potentially make a move to, and I will make this a little better here too. So I mean, you break that trend line, I am looking for a move to, I'm just trying to get as much as I can without being too messy. I would kind of be targeting that second supply or demand support there at that 929 to 999 there. So that's just kind of how I'm charting that one out there. I think you might see a bounce at that trend line there. Again, which, I mean, you could play that down to the trend line there. I mean, you're entering that demand zone right now. Yeah, just kind of something. And my charts are very simple. I don't have 10,000 lines on my charts. You don't need 10,000 lines on your charts. Now let's just pop this back out to the weekly and see how it kind of looks from a little longer dated chart. And the thing too is, I mean, look at our weekly volume right now. It's down compared to last week. Obviously, last week, massive weekly red candle there. So just kind of something to keep an eye on there. I mean, maybe we make a move down to that 11:30 or so. It's one of those slower movers as well too. I'm not a huge fan of the slower movers. I'm not patient. I mean, you see a 3 cent move, that's a 1/4% move on the stock. They're not very fun to sit and just stare at, I don't think, at least. All right, let's see what else we got coming in here. And if anybody has any requests or anything, feel free to drop them too before we kind of get close to the end of the day. Yeah, a lot of long-term flow kind of coming in. Those MU put sells from earlier, they're doing pretty good here. I mean, 385 trading at 350. And again, with the put sells or call sells, just remember theta is your friend on those there. So I mean, if you're a spread trader, you can, there's obviously different ways you can trade spreads around those. But I mean, like this week had a lot of put sells, and that's kind of, I mean, I could be wrong here, but I mean, 17% move. Do you really think MU is going to move 17% down in the next 8 days? I mean, anything can happen, but more than likely, it's not going to drop 17% there. So I mean, if I'm trying to take advantage of the volatility and everything that's going on, I'm selling far out of the money options there. I mean, I know for a fact, and let's look at the option profit calculator here. We'll see if I don't mess it up here. So these would be short puts here. So like here, okay. So like you can just see, so that name, like if we don't move from this current price, you just see how theta eats those contracts away, and you just see how they're gaining money on those contracts there. And let me do it to the profit loss there. I mean, theta is your friend on there. You would need, and I mean, with these two, sorry, let me go back to it. As long as the MU doesn't drop below 335 by next Friday, this whale's in profit. And that is also like, let me come back. Ooh, we are a lot of negative gamma right here. So short puts coming in right here. We might see a little, if we get to that 66.70, I mean, that spread's kind of dropping a little bit there. Sorry to go off track there, but I would keep an eye on that level there. Let me go back to one here. So like the Tesla short puts here, like these come in. I see these a lot. Like when these come in here, and we talked about this a bit yesterday, these are 18% out of the money. What are the odds that, and at the time they were like 22% out of the money or so. What are the odds that Tesla's going to drop below 325 in 2 or 3 days? It's pretty unlikely. Again, anything can happen. I mean, some horrible news could come out about Tesla and it could drop, but I mean, this whale, and just kind of knowing the Greeks of the contracts here, so I mean, these were weeklies and they're 25% out of the money. You come in here and, crap, I gotta go back here. You take a peek at these and look at your delta and theta. These are losing 7-8 cents a day. That whale paid 11 cents for that contract. These don't even have a delta of 1. I mean, you would need a significant move to even see profit on something like this. So I mean, when you see people talk about, oh, what's it the ask, it's a buy, like look at the internals of the contract. That's not necessarily a buy. I mean, you can almost eyeball it. You're like, okay, they're weeklies and they're 30% out of the money. Now, if it's earnings week or something, that's a whole nother story. But for the most part, do you think Tesla's going to drop 30% in a week? Probably not. And like these, so let's put this to that short put again. So I mean, again, you just like to even see, and actually I want to put it back to the long put just so you could kind of see what it would look like if these were actually long puts there. Yeah, see you later, Boomer. Hop in more, Boomer. I know you're kind of busy, but hop in more. Good questions today. Um, yeah, just kind of looking at that Tesla here. I mean, at the time, you're on the 12th. You need a significant move. I mean, you get a 3% move down. That's going to say it's 231%, but you're not going to get that significant move on something like this. Oh, I don't even know why I clicked the break even there. And you can also come up here too. Like if I come over here and I look at that stock, my one month move is about a 12% move. And these are weeklies, and they're at the time 25% out of the money. The odds of this finishing in the money on the week, I will bet you my mortgage that I'll give you the deed to my house if these finish in the money at the end of the week. Now again, anything can happen, but more likely than not, these are not going to profit. And looking at them now, 11 cents, they're trading at 1 cent right now. So that whale has collected all that premium already in 2 days. And that's where Theta eats those contracts away pretty quick. And that's the same with like these MUs. Like, let's go take a peek here. Yeah, but okay, nope, let's do XOM. Let's not talk about this anymore. Yes, let's go look at XOM. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So XOM obviously up pretty nicely on the day. And kind of like I was talking about yesterday, oil is going to be heavily driven by geopolitics right now and everything going on. I don't know if I had anything hit my feed for XOM today. No, nothing on my feed today. We can come down here and take a peek and see what else might come in. I mean, you're seeing a lot of net call premium here. A lot of call volume. I mean, yeah, that was a big spike there. And again, when you look at those net call premium gap channels there, it's you fill that gap already. You are seeing some put out flow still. Let's see the flow. Oops, not that one. Okay, narrowed it down pretty easily there. So you got some weekly 321.55 calls. Nothing really noticeable in this one here. A lot of open interest on these right now. So nothing really noticeable on that one. But yeah, I'm just kind of looking. I'm not seeing. Yeah, I didn't have anything hit my feed either. So just kind of a lot of junkiness right now. Oh, you got a bid side call here. I wonder if these are in the money. Wonder if these were actually buyed open. Let's see how that feed looks. So that IV drops when they come in. Spot is filling the bid. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't be selling calls on oil, especially calls on oil. I mean, yeah, if this is short, I mean, obviously they have plenty of time, but you're already in the money. You do not want to get exercised if you're selling those. 21 days out, maybe something here. No. Yeah, I'm just not a lot. Not a lot of good looking for another bid side one here. Is this the one we looked at? Nope. So this one, let's just take a peek. So very similar timing here. Let's see, 31.73. These might be short calls here. I mean, again, your IV drops. And it kind of pops again a little bit there. 15 seconds later. Yeah, I mean, there's just too many variables in this one. 7% out of the money. Yeah, I don't know. I would be very nervous to sell very close. And I mean, 7% isn't super close, but 30 days, a lot can happen. Now, if these were 7% out of the money for tomorrow, I'd be a little more maybe daring, I'd say. Because but I mean, oil's popped like 6-7% overnight, so it's kind of tough there. Yeah, I'm not really seeing too much on it west. Sorry about that. So did my campaign says the key to close before so like when so I wouldn't sell naked contracts. There's I would let me see if I can find like a good actually I believe I this one took me a long time to write because I'm not a massive spread trader. Let me pull it here quick. But I have a spread learning guide here that you can kind of take a peek at. That kind of it's just a very basic guide. Again, I'm not super big on trading spreads and selling premium, but I'm trying to see if I can find it in here. I might have to find it after hours here for you. I'm just doing a quick look here. Blah blah blah. Blah. I thought I had a guide here. Maybe that. No. Let's see. No. Maybe I don't have a spread. I thought I had a spread one in here. I might have to do a spread one. For some reason, I thought I had a spread learning guide. No, Pennywise, I'll throw that on my list on something to make. It'll probably take me a little bit to make it. Again, I'm not a massive spread trader, so I'll have to kind of pull info as I make it there. But like you don't have to buy back the contracts if you're selling premium. Your goal is to let those expire worthless. I'll I'll work on a guide. We're supposed to get like a foot and a half snow this weekend, so I will have plenty of time to do that. I'm gonna write it down right now so I don't forget here. So different spreads and all that fun stuff here. Yeah, let me do that here. I can work on it this week and I might start it tonight too a little bit for you. Let's see. So learning guide how to trade spreads and exercising them plus buy back shares. Yeah, I'll work on that this weekend here. It'll probably be out late Sunday night or Sunday evening. I mean, I say that now. I just try to give myself plenty of time, but no, I have a very good general idea of how spreads work. I just don't trade them that much, but no, I'll get a good guide up for you over the weekend. If anybody has any suggestions for those learning guides, please don't hesitate to ask that because I mean I can only kind of create what you and what everybody wants to see. And I mean, they take me usually 3-4 days to do, just to kind of depending on the topic. But yeah, the more you guys ask, I can create more guides and all that. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff, and I tried to kind of do like the basic stuff. So I mean, if there's anything that I miss, I mean, and that's a very good one to have there. So great request there, Pennywise. I will get that at least up by the end of the weekend for you. So good request there. Let's see, what do we got coming in here before close? About these hell calls. Yeah, a little messy on that one. Would want to wait until tomorrow to verify that open interest. I probably assume it's going to carry over. They're not really selling them for a big gain or anything. 48, 44. Yeah, I mean, I would probably assume these are ads here. I would definitely double check that. What is that? Halliburton. Yeah, energy. Yeah, I mean, I would be more bullish on energy than bearish right now. Oracle puts, we can take a peek at these. A lot of action coming in on these right now. Big multi-leg percent, so I will ignore that one. A lot of open interest on these too, so let's just kind of do a looky-poo here. Probably opening volume today. I mean, something you got to double check that open interest. I just don't like it with that high multi-leg anyways. Let's see, what else do we got coming in before close? A lot of long dated stuff coming in here, and I'm not a big fan of that long dated stuff. I am not a patient person. I like to get my profits as soon as possible. Kind of a mid-fill on these SPY puts. I wouldn't swing SPY puts over night tonight. We have heavy data tomorrow morning. I don't want to get caught in a gap the wrong way. Let's see, big long dated SPY calls coming in 750s. Very long dated for July. 1501. That IV's kind of dropping a little bit there. Spots filling technically at the ask there. Yeah, I just with everything going on, I don't think I'm very long on those there. Again? Okay. All right, 1 second here. All right, I am gonna probably end the stream here. I don't know why it's giving sound issues like that. That's very strange to me. Let's see. Is this sound good for everybody else? That's weird that it cut out like that just right at the end. All right. Yeah, since there's so many or sound issues kind of going on right now, I wonder if Discord's having issues right now, because I mean it was working just normally there, and it's showing on my end that it's working good. So I don't know, but I'm gonna end the stream a little early here, and I'll kind of take a peek and see if there's maybe something going on with the sound issues. But all right, everybody, thanks for hanging out, and yeah, sorry about the sound issues there. The last couple minutes will kind of be recorded if you need them. But all right, everybody, thanks for hanging out, and we'll hopefully have it fixed for tomorrow.